Now let us discuss about something about biota, which is another important soil forming factor. In biota, there is a vegetation. At very first, the vegetation is the growth, the type of vegetation is highly depend upon what kind of parent material present in that particular area. But in due course of time, in the place of parent material, climate will plays the major role. So, like this, ultimately, what will happen? The nature of the soil that developed to a greater extent is governed by the type of vegetation. So, ultimately, what will happen after, though initial or the type of vegetation is completely depend upon what kind of parent material is there. But after what will happen? After some time, when this time factor comes into role, after time, what will happen? The climate will plays a major role in what type of vegetation will be grown there. So overall, we can say one thing, the nature of the soil developed in this condition is a greater extent governed by the type of vegetation. Thank you. Like we discussed in our previous slide, we know that first type of vegetation will be governed or will be decided by the what type of parent material it is under. And also after when the time passes, when the time factor was came into rule, and ultimately climate will dominate the type of vegetation to be grown in particular area. Now let us see what are the different type of climate conditions will be there and what type of conditions will prevail in that particular soil. Let us see in this condition, here we can see a different type of vegetation. Very first we can see grassland soils and forest area soils. What are the major difference? But two are very two different type of vegetation. Both are very different because here we can see very fibrous, very shallow roots will be there, but here we can see very deep rooted conditions will be prevail in this type of vegetation. Now let us see, if we see the organic matter content in the grassland soils are very high compared to forest area soils because of root nature, very fibrous root nature is there, and shallow rooted conditions are more highly prevalent. And also especially in a subsoil area, especially in subsurface soil area, the in grassland soils, the organic matter content will be very high, followed by soil aggregates. As the roots are very fibrous and very shallow rooted, soil aggregation is very high in grassland soils compared to forest area soils. Now let us see another condition in coniferous vegetation, where that what is a coniferous forest vegetation. What will happen in this condition? Soil will be in a very acidic condition. Reason? Because the leaves of the cone trees, that coniferous trees leaves will be there, though those leaves contains very less amount of or a very low condition of exchangeable cations like calcium, magnesium, potassium and sodium. So ultimately what will happen? And also there will be rapid leaching will be there in this type of vegetation, in the coniferous type of vegetation. And ultimately there is finally another type of vegetation is there. It is that your deciduous forest. Deciduous forest, we can see there is a continuous cycling of nutrients through littering is more. Here in this type, what will happen? There will be continuous littering from the as the off season. What will happen? The leaves will be littered. Is more in the soils would be rich in base saturation. So due to the littering, what will happen? More cations will be there, and there will be a huge littering will be there. So like this, different conditions, so different vegetation will have a different type of soils, it has been discussed. So like this vegetation or biota or animals is a one of the very important soil forming factor. Thank you.